and they asked if you could have just one agenda or one objective being fulfilled, either free your father or the success of the movement, which one would you choose? And I said both, because it was never just about him. So, despite my best efforts, of course, people still refer to me as Anwar's daughter, and I would respectfully disagree with that characterization. Of course, I bear my father's name. I love him dearly as my mother, but I also am clear about being my own person. I entered politics because of the injustice that was inflicted on my father, and to free him. But from the very beginning, it was also to fight for reforms. I remember in a CNBC interview, I was still 17 at the time, and they asked if you could have just one agenda or one objective being fulfilled, either free your father or the success of the movement, which one would you choose? And I said both, because it was never just about him. So I think, like I always said earlier, I have always been in doing my job as a politician, but it's very important to also understand the independent element, that I am my own person. I exist as a disparate being from my mother and father, but of course, as a daughter, we try to engage and communicate our key decisions with one another. But it's also very important to understand that professionalism has to be the guiding force, because when you are elected, you are answerable to the electorate. So that's a huge amanah for me. I try to be fair to both, to my children, to my parents, but also to the electorate, so that they know that the degree of professionalism pushes me forward with a clear sense of what I should be doing. And I think it's very important because he actually instilled that in us. He was the one who kind of placed that kind of courage to speak against, of course in a polite manner, but courage to speak up, because we can't just be silent, stay silent in the face of oppression, for one. And I always like to argue, of course, in a way that's ethical. You don't need to raise your voice, you don't need to be rude, but you do need to articulate in a position that defends the cause or defends the issue at hand.